All right, Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And as you guys can see, we have the woman of the hour right now.
Hi.
It's Vanessa Ryder from Basketball Wives. And Vanessa, you and I have had the opportunity to kind of like correspond via like social and as well as like video and comments and stuff like that. So it's awesome to get the chance to get to know you and to let the audience get to know you just a bit because I feel like the first two episodes kind of like whoosh, kind of came
Yeah.
in fiery hot. And I have some theories about that, but I'll save that for a bit. I want to get to know you. We were just talking, and you, like myself, are a Cancer.
Yes. I'm a Cancer, and if you know anything about Cancers, we are like very hard on the outside, very sensitive on the inside. We're very protective of our family. We love families, and people that are close to us, and we're kind of reclusive. And so that's kind of, I saw somewhere that you were a Cancer. I'm like, that's why I was gravitated towards you, because I've been asked like 10 different interviews, in the past 2 weeks. So I'm like, no, I really feel like this. I really feel this connection here, and
Yeah.
maybe he'll understand.
Yeah, I mean, I want to also create a safe space for you to just like tell us your story and for us to get to know you. I think that's super important, especially as we're going to be watching things unfold this season. It's kind of nice to also put like more perspective into the reasons why you think what you think or how you got to this point here. I want to go back a little bit though.
Mhm.
You have made it clear on social media that when you came into this show, you wanted to really talk about your family life and your gyms. Can we touch on the gym thing for a second? Like what is the business model and how did you get into that?
So I met my husband when I was 18. He was playing for the Lakers, and I have known him for 23 years. We've been married 14, but we've been through all the ups and downs, but like, that's my person. So, 10 years ago, we have a son who's 13. And we started a AAU basketball program out here in Arizona. So for the past 10 years, my husband has found his passion, which is coaching kids, and has
Mm,
so, put people, coached players that are now into the NBA. And that's what that I want to show and bring light to. After the NBA, what do these guys do?
mm.
So that's kind of where me and my husband are at right now. Our family eats, sleeps, and breathes basketball. From the minute we wake up to when we go to sleep, we are like an entire basketball family, and that is what I was bringing to the show. And what I was told is that BET had taken over, and that the show was going to be elevated. And if anyone is familiar with BET and the shows that they put out, that is one of the things that I wanted to show was my business. We have the basketball program, and 3 years ago we opened a 24-hour basketball court, and that is open to, because basketball is life, and we run our program out of that. And then we also rent the facility out when we're not using it, our program. So we decided to expand the gym and franchise that to the Los Angeles area. And now I'm in negotiations with 4 other franchise cities. And I have $1 billion brand idea, and that would be to open these gyms across the entire world. So, and that's happening now. Like, I haven't even gone public about franchising, but watch the show and it will unfold there. But that is what I wanted to bring to the show.
I think that's awesome. My sister, she used to play AAU basketball as well, so I'm very, very familiar with it. When you talk about marriage, it sounds like you guys are truly have a partnership. And I would love to talk to you about that in regards to just how important that partnership is when you have also had those ups and downs in your marriage, which you have been pretty open about.
Yeah, coming into reality television, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to have any secrets. So that is what I hope, that I can connect with people who can relate to me And that's why I have been extremely open and honest with my marriage, because I knew the things that everything I speak about, there's a purpose for me to be speaking about it, whether it's to help someone or someone that may be going through the same thing that I was going through. It's not so that other people can bash me for it, or, I'm very open and honest. I'm funny. The things that I do, like, for example, the balls check or whatever, I don't do that. Like, that was a funny thing, and, the cameras and whatever. I mean, that was something that happened to me and that I speak on. And I'm sure I've gotten a lot of people like, hey girl, like, how do I, in my comments, like, girl, I do that too. Like, but they don't want to admit it. So
Right.
I am open and honest. And that is, I feel like that's what I want the viewers to connect with me on.
How has your husband received you being that
He's
open?
not watching. My husband is very respected in the NBA. His NBA brotherhood have told him, don't watch the show. Yeah. They already warned him. It's a girl thing. My husband is not watching. And there'll be scenes that he will watch because we have a long season ahead of us, where he does come on, and
okay.
So I'm just going to leave it there. There's a lot more that is going to unfold.
Yeah, what's funny? I've been hearing from different sources and spaces that it's a pretty long season. So, that's exciting to me. But I also feel like, I want to get to something, but I'm gonna save it because there's still more I feel like we need to know. Can you talk about, and you've mentioned this a bit, you had been approached to do Basketball Wives in the past. What made you say no back then?
So in what I shared was back in 2010, Shawnee and I had talked, several times. It was a situation back in 2010 is when Miami had just started. The show was hot, and my husband was actually filming another VH1 show with Dr. Drew, Celebrity Rehab. And his probation officer wouldn't allow him to film that. But that's something that my husband needed. We're actually shooting a documentary with Showtime Basketball, and his story will be told. Gotcha. The story is to be sold, not told. So that is, his probation officer wouldn't let him do it. And so it was something very minor, but being out here in Arizona, you've got a lot of, racial stuff. And I just felt like she was being unfair to what he really needed. My husband's mother was mourning his mother. And, when God connected my husband and I back together, I've really helped, put him on the path that a man needs. A successful man is only as successful as the woman behind him. So I am there that's what a woman's job is, to be there. And, it's a true partnership. Mm-hmm. So, back in 2010 is when my husband and I got back together. He had gone through a rough patch. His mother was in a coma. He left her on life support for 4.5 years. Yeah, he wouldn't let his mother go. So that's kind of some of the things my husband was going through. And then God brought us back together, and it's been, beautiful thing ever since. But that's what a lot of people don't know. So when Basketball Wives first started, the thing happened with Celebrity Rehab. And so it was kind of a pause. But even after that, that's when Shawnee was doing, a lot of the stuff herself. Then she got the whole casting and things. I've been contacted, almost every year from casting. But as it started to evolve, my husband and his peers, it was always my husband saying, hell no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. It was him, I thought it was like a fun thing to do, like Basketball Wives. And I, have this strong personality, and everybody that knows me, I'm different. And so I make great TV. I feel once, you guys are going to see, and it's nothing, it's real and authentic. So that was the pushback. It was my husband saying hell no.
Mm. So what led you to the yes for this year?
Well, I told him that no, like I'm doing this. So it was really me, but he was still, because he loves me. And I was like, no, like it's the BET thing. The show is now under, BET. And that's what I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe, and that was the story that I brought, was our gym expansion. Yes, I'm open to talking about my marriage and our basketball program that my husband has poured, basketball into the next generation of hoopers for the past 10 years in Arizona. And that's something that nobody can take from him. He's one of the best coaches right now out there. So that is what I was bringing to the show.
Did you always have an interest in basketball, or did you feel like you became more entrenched in that world as a result of being in that relationship?
So I grew up in Arizona, and when I was 18, I moved to Los Angeles to go to college, and I met my husband within 6 months of being there. He was playing for the Lakers. We dated for 4 years, and then he had a baby. I didn't date men with children. I don't want to give away too much of what you guys will see on the show, but I'm very open and honest with our journey in our life. But I've been there for 23 years and I've seen everything there is to see. And that's shaped me into who I am today. But what really brought me to basketball in our family is our son, who's 13. He's in 8th grade, little Isaiah the fourth. You'll get to meet him. And just as soon as he could walk, I put a ball in his hands, and I started signing up my husband to coach him. And then we started this basketball program. And that's kind of like what we eat, sleep, and breathe, is this basketball life and program.
Okay. Now I got to go back to the camera thing, because that it's not only funny to tell it, on the show, but I think that this is something that people are going to want to know. How does your husband react to the cameras?
My husband thinks he knows I'm crazy. Okay.
So he's just like, that's just her.
Oh, he knows that he can't really get away with anything. And, there's more stories out. I mean, because it'd be like, that's not even where I'm at right now in our relationship. But that is something that, like, it's definitely there. I mean, I put cameras in our house, in our gym. That's just part of where everyone, I think, should have that at 2023.
Yeah.
But, and I speak about what, like I said, everything that I say on or I speak about, it has a purpose. So everybody will get to see why I'm talking about it. And, that's just something that happened, and it was public. So either I was going to bring it up, or one of these people were going to bring it up. And I would rather bring it up because I don't have any secrets. Anything that you want to know about me that you could find out, my husband's a public figure. You can Google it, I'll speak about it, because everyone has a story, and there's always every action, there's a reaction.
Do you think that, what you experienced with him in terms of your highs and your lows, do you think it's related directly to him being in the league and playing and you being a player's wife?
Well, yes, because, like I said, when I met him when I was 18, he was on the Lakers. So I was at the championship that the Lakers won with Kobe. And so I've been there. And then we dated for 4 years. I didn't date men with children, and he ended up having a son. And I said, look, I don't want to be a stepmom. So I went and moved back to Arizona, and we were separated for 5 years. Well, during those 5 years, some things happened with him, and then God brought us back together for a purpose. Our son was born, like, I can control my ovaries, and our son was born on his birthday. I gave him a son they got the same birthday. And I controlled all that with my ovaries. I said, if I get pregnant,
Okay, so listen, you got to stop right there. For the women watching, how do you control that? Okay.
I have a free booklet on my Instagram at Vanessa Ryder. Go onto my tap link, and I give out free fertility advice. I can help you get pregnant in 90 days guaranteed. And if you have any questions about fertility, or even if you want a boy or a girl, I give you free advice because I want to help as many women as possible to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
I will definitely be placing your link to your Instagram.
Yes, and I teach you how to get pregnant either with a boy or a girl, and guaranteed in 90 days.
You about to teach the people, okay? So did you ever run into, like, is that how you and Shawnee like eventually connected? Like, how did that come about?
So, well, my husband, Isaiah Ryder, is very well known and respected amongst the basketball world. There's only 5,000 players that have ever played at that high of a level. So, like I set up the pecking order, that's a real thing. And so, Shawnee, we were around each other, but we weren't like best friends.
But you knew of each other.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know of Jackie Christie at that time as well?
Yes. But we were on different teams. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And I was 18. So when, me and my husband dated for 4 years, when I was from 18 to 22.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've gotten a bit of background and backstory, which is, again, I think sometimes it's important for us to get clarification, because one of the things that I felt like happened, and sorry to production, this is just my assumption. Mm-hmm. My assumption is we didn't get to know. I felt like we got to know a couple of things about you. Some of the more, I would say, like robust pieces of information about you, with the cameras and, a little bit of that. And I feel to a certain degree like they wanted to make this situation with you and Evelyn the thing that came out the gate for this season.
Correct.
Do you feel that way as well? Or how do you feel about it becoming so big so fast?
So what happened was I signed on and I started filming in May. And it was about my gym search, which was a very difficult, and as more will unfold, everyone will get to see more of that. And that's what we started filming. I found out Evelyn was not on the cast. They told me the only people that was on the cast was Jackie, me, Brooke, Jennifer, and 3 new people or something. Okay. They would not, it was very secretive, or for whatever reason, I was told during Jackie's dinner that when she invited me to Evelyn's event. So everything that you see on is very real.
Okay.
In how that it unfolded. But that is not why I came on to come at Evelyn, so that's kind of what, yeah.
So you had been filming your own story and things of that nature had already been happening for you in terms of the filming process. Then you go to this sit down with Jackie where she tells you, okay, hey, I want to invite you to Evelyn's, Ponderosa event. Okay.
Yes.
So when you hear that, what are you thinking? Because I don't think in that moment you told Jackie about any of this, right?
No, because I'm still breastfeeding my baby. So I'm not used to drinking. And that had become a thing that Vanessa's not doing alcohol because I don't know how to be myself. And after Jackie's thing, I went home and I told my husband was there, and I threw up, and I was like, I can't handle this. That's why I didn't, because it was kind of like at the dinner with Jackie, I had 2 drinks and I was probably spilling a little bit more tea than needed. So they just cut me off, and then I went back home, and then I'm like, oh shit, like Evelyn's coming on. And when the situation that happened, even that it was 10 years ago, I've never met Evelyn. There was a lot of stuff that was cut out. But everything was very real. And, I don't really think there's an expiration date for pulling someone's whole card. So and everything that I say, I was authorized to say it. And if everyone can look at the scenes. Like, I don't want to jump ahead, but like at the Ponderosa, when Brooks like, did Amy tell you to do this? I said, no. I said, but there's other people. Like, people need to like understand. I'm not reckless. So everyone just needs to understand. I would not be, there's other people involved. There's a whole thing. And what I witnessed was very painful. Even though it was 10 years ago, I said, I'm not going to fake kick it around Evelyn.
So
they brought it to me and it all just kind of happened.
Let me ask you a couple of questions that I feel like I know that the viewers will have that maybe you can kind of clear up. Okay. And so there'll be direct questions and then you just give us the rundown, right?
Okay.
So what do you say to people who feel like, actually, no, that's a politically correct question. My first question is, with regards to the home wrecking accusation, do you feel like you feel that strongly about the situation because of things that you have also gone through?
Yes. And that will come out, later on, but I'm not a fake person. So I was going to address Evelyn about the situation and how I felt and what I witnessed, because I'm a loyal friend. That's my friend of 20 years. That is my friend. And when she was going through all this and I saw, there's kids involved, and I asked Evelyn, I said, did you not know she had a baby on the way? He had a baby on the way. She said, he told me he had a baby on the way. I said, well, girl, use your brain. How is that his ex? That's kind of like, even though it was 10 years ago, I'm going to address it with her. And then me and her can move on in this space. I did not come on here coming for you. This is all unfolded while we were filming.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, I want you to just tell me if me listening to you and just sort of putting all the pieces together, you 10 years ago witnessed your friend go through this experience.
Yeah, she got left 8 months pregnant.
Okay.
She got left 8 months pregnant. And then it went on, because then remember, Evelyn and them went on and did their thing. So it was very, and I was there. So that was something that I needed to address. Like, I'm not going to my friend, oh girl, like I'm doing Basketball Wives. Oh girl, like now Evelyn's coming back. Well, I'm going to be around her. So that leaves me in a situation where I'm just going to be straight up and say, I don't appreciate homewreckers. And yeah, that's my friend. And I'm not up here. I'm calling a spade, and I'm authorized to do it. And that's how I feel.
And when you say authorized to do it, like
Amy didn't send me. Okay. That's the truth. But there's other people involved. So everyone just needs to move on. Okay. I can feel the way that I feel and address it with Evelyn, and we can move on and build our friendship or whatever we're going to be. Either we're going to be, whatever it's going to be. But that was something I needed to clear off the table as a friend.
So your intention in general was to have a conversation one-on-one with her.
Yes.
Okay.
And they made it all messy with the whole, I didn't come to her at the event. She came and sat down with me because Jennifer played the game of telephone and went to Brooke, and then it went. I didn't say that. Like what Brooke said, she said she'd come in to collect, like it was, and then they came over there to the couch. So I wasn't going to do that.
The bill collector comment got misconstrued into this situation. Did you assume that Jennifer was going to run back and tell anybody, or did you just kind of think it was just between you guys because she too had a little bit of an issue with Evelyn in the past?
I asked Jennifer for advice.
You asked her
about
for
the situation, and then she said, "Oh, I think, girl, but that wasn't even aired."
We didn't see that.
Yeah, she goes, "I think you should, come on her one-on-one." That's exactly what I wanted to do. So it got messy, but it's not me. If everyone goes and watches it again, I didn't come at her event, and even at the Ponderosa, I said, "Well, I didn't mean to bring it to you at your event." Remember, at the Ponderosa.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to go back and watch the scenes.
Yeah. I think also too, you mentioned there were other people. Can you just give us a general description of
There's a
when you
whole
say other
family. There's a whole
or
family.
family? Okay.
So everyone, I'm not. I everything I say, has a purpose during filming, and I said what I said, and I stand on that. And that is, a lot of people didn't even know they existed because she's not on reality TV.
Yeah.
So, this is something, even though it's 10 years later, it's still bringing to light the fact that it happened. It was very swept under the rug when it happened because my friend wasn't on TV.
Okay. So for you, you see your friend go through this level of devastation and it's not publicized, it's not known. So you, to a certain degree, if I'm understanding, feel like you are speaking up and giving a voice to someone who never had one. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, but she did not tell me.
Right, right. She didn't say it, and
She
we
didn't
just
put a battery in my back.
gotcha. Okay,
This all happened organically, and the chain of events happened organically.
okay,
But what I'm not going to do is have Evelyn lying on me saying I used her as a storyline, because that is false. And I have put that to rest. That is absolutely not true. I am the bill collector for a reason. I save all my receipts and I'm not stupid. So that is the reason why I came on the show, was to show my business, my marriage, and my basketball program.
yeah.
I have enough storyline than to this. She just mad I pulled her hoe card, and that's it.
I definitely feel like you have a lot of story, and I feel like that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to also establish for people who are viewing this in the beginning, right? That there's
Yeah.
so much to discover with you, and then to also kind of clear up some of any misconceptions that people may have. So if you feel like well, I just want you to know if I'm diving deep into something, it's because I feel like these are some questions that I know I'm gonna get. Okay, well, you didn't ask her this. I'm like, no, I did ask her that. I want
Okay.
you, and I want you to clarify so that people really get the message, so you don't have to repeat yourself ever again.
Okay.
The other question that I have is, where do you and Amy stand today, after, especially after all of this has happened?
So I just got off the phone with Amy, and the most important thing is, I'm going to tell everyone, you will get to meet Amy. You will get to, and so stay tuned.
Okay.
And that is, she loves me and we are good. Evelyn and Amy are not friends or co-parents. Amy is from the South, and she, for the sake of the minor child still involved, is cordial with her. But I just got off the phone with her. So, yes, I don't want to spill too much about what's upcoming, in the future episodes, but I'll just leave it there. That is my friend. She loves me, and we've been friends for 20 years, and our kids are friends. And the co-parents are Amy and the children's father.
Now, do you hold the children's father to the same level of accountability that you hold Evelyn to?
Of course. Yes, I hold the man totally. It takes two to tango. That was cut out.
Gotcha.
It takes
Okay.
two to tango. Oh, yes, the man. But as a woman, see, like when my husband had I can't spill too much, but when my husband, or I would never get involved with somebody who had a baby on the way, because I have too much respect for families. And so I do understand, men are, weak, and women. And so I never blamed Evelyn for 100%. I said it takes two to tango. I understand that, but you take accountability for your part in it.
Okay. Do you feel like if you had that conversation alone, that it would have gone differently?
Of course. Of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said at the Ponderosa, I said, I wanted to come to you woman to woman to have this conversation, but it got blown out of proportion.
Was there anything that we didn't get to see in the conversation at Shawnee's dinner?
There was a whole lot in that.
Guys?
there was a whole lot in both of the scenes. And I think they are just limited on time and they have to
Gotcha.
punch all. I mean, that Ponderosa was like, there was so much. And, you know, I will say that it was cleaned up probably like, it was like on a level, you know, 2000. And I think they cleaned it up pretty much down to like a level, you know, for TV, safe for TV.
Oh, okay. So there was there was some not safe for TV terminology and words being thrown around.
Yeah, it was, yeah, definitely cleaned up.
Okay. And the ending conversation between you and Brooke, um, it looked like you were pretty silent at that point.
Mhm.
Can you tell us why that is?
Because I had just been, you know, through a whole lot of back and forth. I mean, there was so much said between me and her that I didn't really know why Brooke was coming at me like that. So um, I just, in that moment, I said, "You guys are missing the point. There's other people." And then she's like, "Well, did Amy send you?" And I said, "No." And that's the truth. And
Okay.
so that was kind of, I was pretty much done at that point. And then I got up and left.
Is there a world at this point where you and Evelyn, I mean, obviously you have to coexist because of the show, right? I mean, where you guys can where and if it's happening in a future episode, I mean, just be general about your I want to know your feeling today, especially based on what you guys have been kind of going through on social media. Is there a world where you guys can, because at this point, I mean, I would wager that Amy and Carl, and I just feel like they're kind of caught up into this as well. So, is there a world where all of you can um, move past what's happened on social media?
I
What do
will
you think of that?
say, everyone stay tuned. There's a very long season ahead. It's definitely a roller coaster ride. And I don't want to give away the season, but I'm just going to leave it there. I came, you know, on to Basketball Wives because I am a basketball wife and had been,
Very true.
you know, I came to talk about, to let the world, I'm basically become an open book about my marriage, about my family, about my business. It was never to pull Evelyn's hoe card. It was never that. But now I feel like everyone just stay tuned and then we can really get into the meat and potatoes of where our relationship is going. And
Okay.
that's where I want to leave it at because I don't want to spill too much of the season upcoming.
Okay. Some other really quick things, and then I will let you get back to your beautiful
Baby.
children and your life. But girl, I think you're gonna have to come back towards the end of the season because I am sure I'm gonna have some more questions. So
Yes.
we will make sure to stay in contact for that. But let me ask you another question. Was there? I mean, there's been hints on social media that there was a huge blow up at Evelyn's Ponderosa that did not involve you.
Right.
Um, do you know what happened? Were you even there at that point?
Yes, I was there. And I will say that the reason why Jackie, if you guys go back and watch episode 1, you know, she's sitting there, right? And just everyone go read her body language, okay? Because that happened just before there was a huge thing. But they didn't air it. I don't know why.
But
Um,
what happened? Because we want to know.
am I allowed to? I don't even know. Listen, I got people like,
Okay. Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to let Jackie speak to that because it wasn't
Okay. It didn't
involved. I
involve you.
was sitting right there by Jackie. I thought it was, I mean, there was, it was crazy. I was like, I didn't even know what the hell I signed up for. So I was kind of just like blown away. But I don't know if they're airing it. I don't know.
Later.
I don't know what's going to happen. Is it a scene that's going to, no, because I thought maybe they were going to air it at the beginning of this next episode. But, you know, I think everyone has to understand like they only have 42 minutes
Yeah.
to put everything in there. So even at the Ponderosa, there was, like I said, a very G-rated version of what happened.
Wow. Who are you closest to on the cast now at this point?
I would say, just Jackie, because we bonded and just our history and stuff. Um, yeah, I can't really spill the season, so
Okay. Okay.
it's definitely a roller coaster. Everyone just get your popcorn and everything because you guys are in for it. It
You
is.
you've done a great job at teasing stuff is coming. Okay, so I'm super excited. I gotta ask you one last question, and don't shoot me for asking this, but your hair has become at this point iconic.
Okay.
What Tell us the inspiration behind it because like it's a thing now.
Okay. So first of all, I feel like Evelyn is very low to start. Like that's what she does as her MO. Start picking at like my
Oh,
appearance and
physical
stuff.
attributes. Okay.
But all that really matters is that my husband loves my hair and it's not a wig. Okay. This is very real. I always have my brush.
Well,
Every
what made me ask was because you were brushing it, and I don't think it's a bad. I think it's actually perfect because it sets you apart and it makes you memorable.
I'm not here to blend in. And I've been having these bangs since 2005. Not everyone can wear the China bang. But if she wants to, my bangs have a fan page now. So I really, okay, I don't care
Let me tell you
what you
something.
want to talk. And you talk about my chopped bang because I cut them myself. I cut them. I have a whole. They have their own. And then when she started talking about them, I started coloring them all different colors. But if you go on my Instagram page, I've been rocking the bang since 2005. People are going to dress up as me as for Halloween. I don't care. You want to try to pick me? God is going to use what the enemy meant for evil, turn it around for my good. I'm going to use it as a footstool to elevate. So
Well, I
I
was
don't.
going to tell you. I was going to tell you that is how you make lemonade out of what
Yeah.
people are trying to make a lemon. But
Yeah.
again, I think it's perfect because I think it makes you memorable.
I mean, my bang, and it's not like I came on the show. Like everyone can see, I've had these bangs since 2005. The only thing I color them different colors. This is not a wig, so if everyone's watched the previews, yeah. So I'm very comfortable in my own skin. My husband loves my hair. He likes to run his fingers through it, and I don't really it doesn't really bother me. And so if you want to keep talking about my bangs, they're just going to get more popular. They have their own fan page now, Vanessa's Bangs. So whatever.
I absolutely love it. I would just honestly have to tell you, listen, one of the things I always say to people who come on reality TV is, the audience may not ever understand something that you are saying or doing. The best we can do is try to make sense of it, right? However, what I always respect is whether people feel like you're right, wrong, or indifferent. I appreciate a person who stands 10 toes down in whatever they say and whatever they do. And I feel like that's what you're doing. So for me, that's what the ideal reality personality TV does is they just stand 10 toes down in whatever their truth is. And I feel like you're doing that. So I
I
cannot
don't have
wait to see.
anything to hide, and I am just bringing, light to my life and what I've gone through. And I hope that people can, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. People are going to have their opinions. I'm just living my life.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this
Thank
today.
you.
I really appreciate it. And I hope that the audience appreciates it as well. Can you tell everybody where they can find you and your businesses and everything that you have going on?
Yes. So my Instagram is at Vanessa Ryder, and I have all of our gym and our basketball program. All of my fertility tips are on the tap link. That's for free. And also, yeah, so there's a lot of information on there. And I'm like loving to connect with the audience there. So if you follow me there, I like to interact and talk to the audience.
Okay. And before we go, is there anything else that you wanted to clear up before we log off?
I think we pretty much hit the points. You know, why I came on, what my storyline is, and you know, everything that I have, everything that I say and that I bring on screen, there's a purpose behind it. So I just want everyone to stay tuned. We have many more episodes to go, and lots of exciting, more exciting moments.
All right. Vanessa, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank
Sky
you.
Squad, thank you for watching. And of course, we will be back with more Basketball Wives shortly.